A quick discussion on the function of the chucks we use for 408MT. Pictured is an F48 chuck. There's also the F35. The function is identical. So the collet has a taper on it. It's inserted into the bore, trapped in place by the cap. It's a dead length system. The taper is driven out by the drawbar in the machine. Drive it out, please. Or back, and the spring pressure, the spring will drive it back to open. So, closing is merely shoving forward with the drawbar. When this is closing on bar stock, we want the collet closing on the bar to be the limiting factor in closing, not anything else. But we also want to make sure that when we're using delicate extended nose collets that we don't smash the collet when there's no bar present, or overly pinch the rubber chip gaskets too much when there's no bar present. So with that in mind, there's a front ring, and as you see when this draw tube moves, there's a keyway right here that's traveling back and forth. The keyway can limit the front stroke and the rear stroke. We have the rings adjusted out of the way so you can see it. Normally they're hidden underneath because they go inside them. The front ring only purpose is when there's no bar, this stops the forward movement. So when it's in the machine, we pull this all the way back till it touches the cap. We close on bar stock, and then we screw him in this way, righty-tighty, until he touches the keys. Then it would be the same. Then we come back a turn to a turn and a half so that it will never limit the power applied to the bar stock. The rear ring works in much the same manner. When it's closed on bar and the key is forward, we bring the rear ring out, that's lefty-loosey, until it touches, it'll stop because it's touching this inside here, and that would mean the collet would never open. So then we go back about a turn to a turn and a half, and we could test the open to make sure the bar doesn't tilt too much and the bar loader's pusher rod would get over the top of it. But you adjust both of these with the chuck in the closed position. If you can't move the front ring when it's in the closed position, it means either A, there's chips on it, or B, the keyway is pressing against it and there's just no way our hand strength is going to move it. Which is why this guy is hard to move in the open position because the power of the spring is shoving the keys tight against it. You can move it, but it's going to require the wrench with the pin on it, and it's usually not recommended. The set screws, when you tighten these down in the machine, all you have to do is use the wrench the short way, barely nip it. If it starts to hurt or you start to feel this twist, you're enough. There's little tiny brass threaded feet on the bottom here that engage in the thread and prevent this from rotating. Again, there's no direct machining force on it except for inertia, so it doesn't take much. Just nip it. Too much deforms the brass feet and it makes these difficult to adjust. Chips can get in here sometimes. It makes it difficult to adjust. It's best to completely disassemble it, clean it with mineral spirits and a toothbrush, oil it again with the number 4 oil that comes with the machine, reassemble, readjust.